What? How you all doing? Oh dear. I want to note a few things today before I get anything started because I've already actually been quite busy today. Oh, sneaky! Should have been vlogging that. There was a high risk of failure, so I thought I didn't. But um, 18-month challenge update. Not so much an update, but was it this morning? No, very late last night after I finished the vlog. I was checking some stuffs on the T430, me ThinkPad, and all of a sudden I got a PayPal, and Twitch has paid me. It was like $100 ish, thereabouts. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for everyone kind of chipping in and giving their prime subs and regular subs and the bits and all that. Thank you. Because it's helping with the 18-month challenge and it's helping me with a fair few projects. In fact, it's kind of paying for a few projects that I'm working on, will be working on. Nothing so much for the vlog, just some bits. I've got some things I want to do and I'm a bit low on the old confidence in doing it. And so the kind of random boost of Twitch funds that I didn't expect to have. Like, I didn't expect Twitch to pay me anytime soon. The fact that I've got that kind of extra cash I wasn't banking on has made this a little less painful. So, that's rad. Also, we're recording today's vlog in H.265. So the idea, if anyone doesn't know what H.265 is, it's a codec, a compression standard for video, and most people's devices record in H.264. H.265 is the newer variant, which allows roughly the same quality at half the file size. So we're going to have a crack at that. Hopefully, Kdenlive will allow us to edit H.265. I render the vlogs in H.265, so I'm hoping I'll be able to edit H.265. Hopefully the quality doesn't suck too bad, because I don't know how... It shouldn't be any different, really, to be honest with you, but just in case, just a warning. If it doesn't work, then I'll re-encode everything into H.264, edit it, and then re-encode it into H.265, but we'll see how this goes. I just want to save some space, to be completely honest with you. That's just the thing. So, projects. I got a box through the post today, and it was a screen for the T430. I think I showed the other day about how editing on that laptop's a bit awkward, because there's not really a lot of screen real estate on it. And the screen's not particularly great quality. The viewing angles are pretty bad, to be honest. Like, if you tilt the screen backwards and forwards, the colours just completely disappear and colours invert and stuff like that. It's a TN panel. It's not a particularly great panel that comes with them stock. And I saw... Me and Scribs were talking about potentially upgrading the display to either a 1080p IPS, which takes a hack, or just going for a 900p display. And I bought that cable the other day, the HD Plus cable, to enable the machine to run at a higher resolution, or to drive a display at a higher resolution, because apparently the cable I had in it maxed out at 1366 by 768, which is what we were stuck at, to run higher resolution displays up to 900p would require pulling it all apart, changing this cable, putting in a new display. So I found this display for about $30, and I'd been told it was actually pretty good quality. It actually had solid blacks, which is something that ThinkPad displays, unless they're IPS, don't generally have, unless you're sat in the right place, and even then they're more grey than black. So I thought today I would bust open the laptop, change the cable, and put in the new screen. And I've done it. and with the exception of it not having proper blacks, and it's got one maybe two dead pixels on it. It's pretty good. The process was painless. It was a complete teardown on a laptop. I was surprised my hands kind of held up to it, to be honest with you. But that was like, take the bottom off, take the hard drive out, take the palm rest off, completely disconnected the screen, pulled apart the screen assembly, took out the old display which I put back in a box, took out the old cable. The black cable is the old cable. I didn't think to get a shot of the new cable. Put all the new stuff in, reassemble, job done. It's a shame it's still pretty poor viewing angles. The thing is, if I wanted to guarantee, because I looked at it and it doesn't look like they sent me the screen that they had listed, but to guarantee the display that I wanted, you're talking probably about £60+, and this is a display. I just want the resolution. I'm not going to color correct on it or anything. I just ideally really wanted the resolution on it. So, yay, project. It was a bit of a confidence boost because I've got another machine to tear down probably within the next few days, and I wasn't entirely sure if I was going to be able to do it. So, this turned out okay, kind of. Well, we can confirm that Kdenlive will take H.265 footage. Took a little while to get it in there. It seemed a little bit slower to get it on the timeline, but yay, we can now record in H.265. Hopefully things won't explode during the render. Bet you I'll go like, oh, it's going to take 12 years to render now, and I'll be like, no. Fixing many little things today. Slight confidence boost. Weird one. So, I'm really glad, first off, that Kdenlive can sort out the H.265 video. It's going to be useful for me in the future. It was obvious, it should have been obvious really that it was going to do it. But, was kind of like, maybe not. And that display, a teeny bit irked that it's not quite what was advertised to me. But, and the dead pixel obviously, but the resolution's really all I was after. That's it. With a slight confidence boost of today, I could go further. But, I'll just let him say. Yeah, little fixes. First off, tearing down that laptop. I've done it many a time in the past. I have. But I have been struggling, and it has been noted since I did the kind of mod of this. I say mod, it's just literally changing the buttons in it. And it became quite well known to people who have had doubts that I've had issues over the years. You know, they were like, oh, you know, I didn't really think it was that much of a problem until I heard you struggling with this. And that was a bit of a confidence knock. Like, am I still going to be able to do this? Because, you know, fiddling around with these little display connectors and that is kind of, it's fiddly. It's really fiddly. You need, I mean, I'm not going to say it's really, really hard, but you know, it takes a little bit. You need to have a little bit of dexterity in your hands to be able to get it done right without breaking it. And if you screw it up, you could break the cable, you could break the screen, you could break the laptop. I mean, people have broken their laptops just changing the screens. Thankfully, I didn't. But I've torn it down tons of times. We've done it again today. I'm glad we can still do it. Really glad I can still do it. Because I've got some other bits coming up. Fuck, I'm going round in circles. Teeny fix. I did a live stream of Ys 5, the bastard child of the Ys series, the Japan-only Super Nintendo game that takes place in Africa. No one really played it. Japan only. No English translation for the longest time. There is one now, as I said the other day. Turns out I had a copy of it, didn't realise. I played it on the T430. I streamed it on the T430. Plugged in the Antlion Mod Mic Wireless. Set up RetroArch, which is the tiny fix. I'll get to that in a sec. And told it to screen grab. Screen grabbing on Intel graphics cards now seems to work very well in OBS on Linux. Didn't before, so cool. We did a whole stream just using that. It's great. And I'll tell you something. Being able to read the game actually really makes a huge difference for Ys 5. I've only played it for about an hour and a half, but it's been really fun. Really fun. And I've kind of enjoyed the story too, up to this point. Ys games are about the story and the world, and if you can't read it, no wonder people weren't going to like Ys 5. And I had no idea what the hell was going on. Playing it this time around, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. Mechanically, it's pretty good. The combat's pretty solid. It's pretty good. So, you know, if you get a chance to play Ys 5 translated, do it. I'm going to be streaming that one through, and then we'd have finished pretty much every game in the series, with the exception of the some of the original ones on Turbo CD that I own. I'm not going to play like the PS2 remakes and stuff like that, but, you know, I don't know all that. But there was a problem with RetroArch to start with. Installed it from the Arch repository. Not the user repository, just the regular Arch repository. There's always been a bit of a problem with RetroArch, in that, for a while at least, in that the config is kind of broken, where it doesn't say where the default cores are, cores being the emulators that you load up to play the games. I was like, okay, so there's no, it can't find the cores directory. Okay. Well, what I'll do is I'll go to the online updater that's in one of the menus, and I will tell it to download some cores. Where is the core updater? Shader updater, control config updater, you know, all these other updaters were there. But no core updater. Like, you need the core updater to download the cores from within the application. But it wasn't there. I was kind of like, oh, this is really weird. Like, have they changed the settings? Like, have they changed the layout or anything? Turned on the advanced menus? Why that would be an advanced feature, I don't know. Like, downloading cores that you require to play the games. I ended up manually going through the config, like manually just like opening it up in a text document, like or opening it up in Nano and just combing through the config file and going like, yeah, this line, no, it's not there. Fucking the updater is false. Show core updater was listed as false. Why would that be a thing? Like, that's required to use the software, pretty much. Like, I'm pretty sure you can, like, download the cores manually from RetroArch's website or their repository, but why would you do that when you should just be able to go into the app and then go, A button, go down to the system you want, A button, download, it's ready to go. Core update was set to false, so it didn't even appear in the menu. So if you have that issue, just open up the RetroArch config, go down to, just type in like update, and it should just be on one of the options, and you'll see that it'll probably have like in the quotations, false. Change that to true, bam. Like, close RetroArch first, open the config, change it to true, save it, go back in, the update will be there. But yeah, did that. And it was working a treat. Really pleased with it. Had another issue with it whereby it was taking ages to load, and I don't know why. Like, initially it was fine, it was fast, and I started fiddling around with shaders, and then all of a sudden it started loading really slowly, like just booting up really slowly. But restarted the machine. It seemed to forget some of the things I was fiddling with, and it worked again. So that was odd. But yeah, the stream worked fine. I can stream Super Nintendo games off of my laptop. Yay! I can't stream proper games, but I can fucking play. I can play the emulated stuff. I can do the retro stuff on it, which is neat. I quite enjoyed that today, but and it is a neat game. Now, confidence boost because I've pulled apart that laptop. As I say, dexterity is a bit of an issue, and thanks to that little bit of kind of disposable income that's come in, the extra that I wasn't expecting to get yet, there are some projects that I've wanted to do that would require ripping things to pieces. I would like to get a chip flasher. I'm not going to go into like what that is and how. Basically, the idea being you get a chip, like a BIOS chip or an EEPROM or whatever, and you plug it into this little thing, and you can then rewrite the data that's on it or read the data that's on it. I'd also like to get a solder rework station, so like just a hot air station, because I would like to take apart as one project, take apart a few old laptops, take the BIOS chips off them, and reflash them. And if I can do that, that would be amazing. That would open up a whole nother set of projects for me to do. I'd like to LibreBoot some old laptops. Although it seems that LibreBoot is down at the moment. It's a completely free. The source is out there. It's a free BIOS replacement for the proprietary stuff that you end up with on a lot of machines. The other option is Coreboot, which isn't completely free of proprietary software, but most of it's gone. So that will work on more stuff. But LibreBoot works on a lot of old machines, or works on a few old machines that I like, and I'd like to try and get that on there. Sometimes you can just literally clip to the chip and flash that way using like a Raspberry Pi, but some of the models that I've found require you to completely remove the BIOS chip or solder directly to these incredibly tiny legs. This little bit of income, this little kind of extra flood of income has, because I'm almost guaranteed to screw it up, right? This has almost made it so that I could maybe absorb destroying maybe 2 of these machines, which makes it kind of not as painful to try. It gives me that little bit of extra confidence to go out and try doing these things, because I'd love to try a surface mount soldering. I'm shite at it. Really, really tiny little chips. I mean, I don't really know if I could. I don't have anything here to really show you how small the chip is, but it's tinier than the nail on my little finger. It's very, very small. I would like to desolder one off the board, put it into the flasher, rewrite the information on it, and then resolder it to the board. That would be fucking amazing. I'd like to do that. Plus, since doing the stuff today, pulling apart that laptop, replacing the screen, I actually have the confidence to do, I mentioned earlier, a hack to get an even better screen in the T430. It requires, so I can't remember the actual display type that the T430 uses, that my laptop uses. It's not great. But you can get cable, like what I've put in there today, to another board that will allow you to go out to EDP, which is the standard that the next model of ThinkPads use. And then you can then go from that board, and then another cable comes out of that, which will then go into an EDP display, which will be like a 1080p IPS display. After taking apart my machine, I could see where I could tuck that board, and I could see that I could quite comfortably, probably, actually do the mod, replace it, and all that. It's not that bad. If you can change the screen and change the cable, like if you can rip the whole thing apart, change the main cable to an HD Plus cable, if you don't already have one, and then reinstall, install a new screen. If you can do that, you can do that mod. You can do the full HD mod. So, I am tempted to try, although it is an expensive mod, so I probably won't do it until like maybe end of the year, maybe next year, because it will take a while. It's like £100, £120 to get those bits for the screen and the board, and all that kind of stuff. Is it necessary? No. Would it be fun to try? Yes. Can I justify it right now? No. But I'd like to try. It'd be kind of neat. I really want to try some of that surface mount solder, and I mean I can't use my hands very well, but whilst I can do a little bit, I'd like to. But yeah, thanks again. I mean, I wouldn't even try these projects right now if it weren't for that extra injection of cash. I should really save it. But again, I'm kind of in the mood to do some. Since the Strix is dead, my gaming laptop, I'm tempted to try some of this older hardware stuff. I've got boxes of older hardware upstairs, but I don't like destroying hardware because it will cost money to replace. I will replace it. I don't want to just go, oh, fucking broke it. So, yeah. Oh, and on the thing of the Strix, I found a dude in Germany that is currently selling fans for it. I can get the processor fan, which is the one that's knackered, for about £60. So I might have to do that at some point too. I can't let that laptop just sit and rot. It was too expensive to just let sit and rot. And Asus don't seem particularly interested to contact me unless I'm probably going to have to phone them up. Their customer service isn't bad, I'm just not going the right way about it, to be honest. So, yeah. Man, it'd be cool to get a reworkstation and a little flasher and all the connections to read data off chips. It'd be a neat thing to learn, you know? It'd be neat to learn. And might as well do it now before I get disconnected on the 18-month challenge, you know? Because if I get disconnected from the internet before getting these parts, I won't be able to buy them because there's stuff you'd have to get up from the internet. The chip flasher is like $40 for like a universal flasher, and you can do all sorts of rad stuff with that. It's terrifying, the idea of actually desoldering a BIOS chip, though. Ooh. One day. Hopefully this year. Yeah, I'm gonna head off. It's not quite how I wanted to word right now, and I've dragged this on way longer. I thought, oh, the vlog's going to be about 20 minutes. No. Have you ever had a project that you've wanted to try that you haven't done because you can't justify the expense? Have you ever had a project where you've looked at it and gone, I could do it, but it's a couple $100 I can't afford, or I am likely to fuck this up and it's going to cost money to it's going to cost a little bit to learn how to do it. Have you ever not tried something because of that? Have you ever been completely put off because of it? How much would it normally cost for you to be put off trying to learn something new or trying something that you've never done before? Because for me, literally even like $50 is enough to be like, I don't know. 30 I can kind of justify. 40 I can kind of justify, but even sometimes over 50 I'm just like, especially if it's highly likely I'm going to break it. So like, 2 attempts is going to cost me $100. It's because I'll be devastated if I break anything. But yeah, I'm going to head off. It's been fun. This is fun. So I hope you're well. I'll see you all with a bit of luck.